Welcome back to the Rebel's Edge. Pete Najarian and I are going to break down for you exactly what it looks like ahead of the big CPI reading tomorrow, including a prediction market that may or may not surprise you. We've got that, sports, and of course, the stocks we're watching and trading today on the Rebel's Edge. So back from your hiatus with K-Fan or whoever it was, right, Pete?
Yeah, yesterday it was really a lot of fun. They asked me to come back. I'd been there about a week or two ago, and they just wanted, they wanted more breakdowns from guys about what the Vikings really look like. And matter of fact, going to be, because we didn't go last Friday, we're going Wednesday tomorrow for some of that, but that's later in the afternoon. It's 2:30. So it's almost at the closing of the day. But yeah, I'll tell you what, the one thing that stands out for me, John, is how good what they look like, at least seeing all the cuts and everything that people put out there and everything, and the commentary that we're hearing. Vikings D-line looks pretty good. They went there, they did it through the draft, they did a really good job. They drafted the right people, the right size people, and linebacker as well. I mean, they've got 4 or 5 guys that are instant starters, in my opinion. So that's it's going to be pretty impressive, I think. But when we get sports later, we're going to talk about who are the very best defenses, and it'll be pretty fun to break those down.
All right. Well, let's dive into macro, Pete.
Let's do it.
I'm going to say oil, geopolitics, and CPI. Those are the 3 things we're going to focus on here. Obviously, the president, if he happens to be caught on tape saying something about the war's either really going well or we're going to really have to hit them hard or whatever, that'll have an impact on oil prices as it did yesterday. We moved about 5% yesterday on crude, Pete, back up to 82, Brent back up to 88, and that's basically where we are today.
Yep. Looking at it, it actually sort of creeped up a little bit, John, as far as oil goes, up about 1% today. But it's in that same range where when it's popped up there and gets up and over that 82, 83 sort of area, yeah, sure. That's been something that we're getting more and more used to it. I don't know if that's necessarily good or bad, but at least we're getting used to it. And it's not shocking to us anymore when okay, this is going on. The president says this. All right, we're going to react to that. But yeah, the stance with Iran right now, John, seems like it's getting a little bit ornery, maybe. So that might end up being a good thing too, however. So we'll see how that all plays out. But that's influencing the markets a little bit. But the amazing part is the markets are pretty daggone quiet today. I mean, when you take a look at the NASDAQ, you look at the S&P, you look over at the Dow, the NASDAQ, yes, it's moving around a little bit. It's down a little more than 0.25%. But I don't think you and I get too concerned over 0.25% moves or so. So yeah, it's pretty calm today. And you know what? It'll leads me right into the VIX, John, because look at the VIX. The VIX is just sitting here between 15.25 and 1560. It's down about 1% today, but it's about as tight a range as it's been in. So, just looking at that, I think that says it all. It says everything about the macro side of things, because otherwise, we might plunge or maybe make a little bit of a run up towards 17 or something like that. But that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing a range that's like this. And so We'll see if that breaks out of that range. But for now, it's just a little bit lower.
Well, and I think I heard Pete say this on somebody's broadcast. I can't remember if it was Fox News, Fox Business, or where you were when you said this, Pete. But you were obviously accurate, as was Larry Kudlow when I was on with him. And S&P 500 companies are on track for 50%, 50% year over year earnings growth. That is just unheard of. It's not only the highest in years, decades, but AI-related spending and demand are just driving a lot of these S&P 500 companies, folks, like nothing we've ever seen. So again, somebody can try to shake you out of the markets. I'd say stick to your guns. Don't just trade chasing fast money, but be in there and look for opportunities, especially on sell-offs, because 50% growth year over year, my gosh, you don't get that too many times in your lifetime.
No.
So take advantage. All right. Well, Pete, I said at the top of the show, and I saw you shaking your head, CPI, because it matters. And the consumer price index could give Kevin Warsh and the Fed and those 3 dissenting voters that wanted to raise rates this last meeting, Pete. Again, stupidity. They just want to hurt the market, I guess, because really, is that going to stop crude oil? Because crude oil is where the inflation is coming from. It's virtually that. Now, you could say, well, groceries, delivery, how do you get it there? Well, what about stuff you buy at Best Buy? How do you get it there? Everything we're talking about is delivered by fossil fuel, virtually everything. Yeah, Amazon might plug in a few electric trucks or whatever, Pete, but it's all fossil fuel. So anyway, I'm going to say prediction market for Kalshi on the July CPI numbers have been coming down. They're not at the lowest level, but they're certainly down a lot from where they were back in May and June. And it looks like we might get a benign number, fingers crossed, which would be great.
That would be great. And as a matter of fact, Jon, it basically has flatlined as we look at it right there for almost the better part of a month. I mean, sitting right there. So I think that's giving it away to some degree, and hopefully we're right. And I think that it's gonna be pretty daggone interesting. Come up tomorrow, we're gonna be seeing some of these numbers come out in front of us, because there was some surprise numbers, as we all know, last week with the jobs number. So maybe there's some surprises. I don't think we're gonna get surprised by this one.
No, I don't think so either, Pete. I think if anything, it'll be a positive surprise.
Yes.
Because of the again, all of the different inputs that go into consumer prices, and I don't know, 80% of them tied to fossil fuel.
Yep.
That's just the way it is.
It is.
All right. Let's focus, Pete, on what's going to be going on in October out in Las Vegas, and that would be RebelCon 2026. Yeah. We've been telling you guys about it. The screen behind me is the Circa Sportsbook, and our friend, Pete's and my friend, Derek Stevens and his brother, Greg, have invited us to come on out there and have a great conference. And it's not just going to be a trading conference. It's going to be about investing in AI, investing in quantum. It's going to be about some of the biggest names in investing, many of whom you will see if you scan that QR code right there, folks. You'll be able to see exactly what's going to go on. Technically the 19th, which is Monday Night Football, in the largest sports book in the world, the largest outdoor sports book in the world. Many of our attendees will be out there in the pool, Pete, enjoying that lovely lit Vegas weather out there in the pool as they watch Monday Night Football. And then the next 2 days, the 20th and 21st, RebelCon. And you want to see who's there? You want to get a discount even? Scan the QR code, folks. You'll be able to sign up, get that discount, and then we'll see you there out at Circa, which is a fabulous casino, one of the newest casinos in Vegas, and it's down on Fremont Street, which used to be called Glitter Gulch. And Derek Stevens and his brother have built a fabulous operation down there. And I know everybody that comes down to see it, and they've got special discounts for the hotel those 2 days too, folks, is going to come away thinking, why would I ever go back up to the main strip when I've got this in Glitter Gulch? It's pretty special. So scan the QR code, check it out. QR code doesn't obligate you to do anything, folks, but then you'll see the lineup, how you can get a free 3 months of the Rebel Investors Club, as well as a free download of our book. So check it out, and we hope to see you in Vegas October 20th and 21st.
Don't delay. Right, don't delay. Don't delay. Those tickets are going to go, man. I'm telling you right now.
That's right. You won't believe the marketing muscle that a casino in Vegas can put behind that show, and they are.
Yep.
All right, Pete, Riot blockchain, moving higher, surging because, well, what? They basically have an AI infrastructure deal because what did they do? They're a Bitcoin miner. But what does that mean? That means they've got compute because you need both connection to the internet. You need computers that can really do a lot of calculations as fast as possible and so forth. What is that also good for? Data centers. And they're basically renting out some of their data center, if you will, 191 megawatts in their Rockdale, Texas campus. And that, Pete, is why that stock is rocking and rolling today. And I know you had some unusual option activity in it as well.
Yeah, we've seen some unusual in this one. It's very active, and I think people are starting to grab into what they're doing and how they're doing it, John. And they're talking about these data centers and the capacity that they can have extended from 9 billion to maybe as much as $16 billion. We're talking about some pretty big numbers. So the shift from mining into the infrastructure and all of that, AI hosting, you name it. These guys, and I'll tell you what, how about this? Bernstein comes out and says, you know what? We're going to put our price target up to 35 bucks. Stock's trading closer to 20. So it gives you a little bit of an idea of what some of the experts out there are thinking and where this stock could be going. So I would keep a very close eye on this one. I think it's up 4 or 5%, well, 7%, I guess. So it's up pretty nice. There's some of those options we were just talking about.
Yeah, I mean, stock was 19 bucks middle of July, folks. They bought 10,000 of the 21st of July of August expiring 21 calls. Well, stock popped all the way up. The reason I put that yellow arrow on there is it popped up to $23 in the pre-market. So again, you miss a little, you miss a lot. But if you wanted to be able to trade that, you had to have after hours or pre-market access. And you could have slammed out some stock close to $23 a share, Pete, that then pulls all the way back down below 21. That's some manna from heaven right there.
Yeah.
That's good.
No doubt.
All right. Let's hit Fermi, Pete. FERMI. But the stock symbol is FRMI. Big surge out of this one today, too. And what do? Well, they're an AI data center player, and they just signed a deal for 222 megawatts. 222 megawatts, Marty. Not gigawatts, megawatts. But nonetheless, a data center agreement with these guys really helped push the stock to the upside, Pete. And look at that move from basically under $6 a share all the way up to $7.20. When you put that in percentage terms, folks, it's an amazing move. And here you go. This is why people with compute and power for that compute really can leverage it up and make a lot of money. And that's just what these guys are doing and just what they did.
Yeah, the secure generational capacity, John, that they've got, solid. You've got power driving things for higher demand out of the AI side of things. That sounds like a pretty good thing. They talk about this thing with this binding lease where that's going to give them an opportunity for a turnkey sort of a situation with AI and the data centers and that agreement as well. All of those things, very big positives. And I think that's why you're seeing the stock react the way it is. We're talking about a stock that was up. Last I looked, it was up about 20%, 22%, something like that. So one of those names that I think you want to keep a pretty close eye on. We've seen unusual options hitting in here. It seems like for the last, I don't know, 3-4 weeks at least, we've seen multiple hits in a single day. And we've seen a little bit more and a little bit more. And here, suddenly we're seeing a pretty nice spike to the upside. And it's going to be something. I think those that actually did jump on those options, I think they're going to be pretty happy about what they did.
Yeah. And let's take a look, Pete, at what another one. That's not a very good DJ Khaled. Another one. That's not a very good one either. But C Limited, Pete.
Yeah.
SE. So these guys, in case you didn't know it, basically, they're an e-commerce and digital financial services giant. And when I say giant, I mean they are about 78 to 80 billion dollars. So this is not just some newbie that came by and, all of a sudden people are throwing some cash at it. C Limited's been around for a while. And they just announced, Pete, revenue of nearly $8 billion, up 48% year over year. And when you look at the unusual activity, they were buying calls, and those calls that they were buying right there, they're buying December calls. Now, what should that tell you? That should tell you, folks, that they took money off the table on their 8750 calls. That was a closing trade. And then they bought into December $5 higher. Well, that was when the stock was 88. The stock has climbed since May, Pete. So in other words, we do what our guys love to do: roll, 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 roll. Meaning you take money off the table and you put on another position at 95. And you take money off the table, you put on more money at 100. You take money off the table, you put more money on at 105, 110, and so forth. Today it trades to 131, Pete. I mean, a fabulous boom to the upside.
That's a sharp mover, man. It's unbelievable. And you talked about it. You talked about the fact that revenue was $8 billion. Unbelievable. 48% year over year of growth that we're seeing there. I got to tell you, there's a lot of different parts of this whole thing that come. And even when I look at their strong outlook that they got, they actually had an outlook that was pretty solid as well. So they're not only cooking right now, but they're actually telling us what we always like to hear. Well, what do you see coming forward? What's happening into the future? Well, they said the outlook looks pretty strong. I'm going to take them at their word. So momentum is on their side. It's been an amazing stock the way it's moved. And today, at what, about 15% or something like that? Maybe even more than that. I'm not sure. But a pretty solid move to the upside for all the right reasons. They delivered what they needed to deliver, and the markets are reacting.
Well, let's talk about one that didn't, Pete. On holding, which is, the running shoes and so forth. This is the one that Roger Federer invested in. And far be it from me to say that was a bad investment. It was a brilliant investment, and he made a lot of dough on it. Well, the stock traded all the way up this year over 52, I think, Pete. But today it hits a new 52-week low. It was down, 13% or whatever. The Q2 results showed that their revenue was up almost 22%, but they missed the consensus. And despite an earnings per share beat, an EPS beat, the direct to consumer or DTC side of their business also beat. But full year guidance, Pete, not going to impress people.
And that, again, that's the major problem. I think the other problem was, even though they beat by 21%, right? They put up $850 million for their revenue. They beat, but they still came up short. You just can't do that. You've got to be able to beat those numbers, which is why you and I have been talking about why this earnings season's been so damned impressive again, because when you look at it and you see what these beats look like, 86% beats on earnings, 80% beats on revenue. I mean, that's what we have gotten used to even, and they disappointed, because they didn't quite reach the levels that they needed to get to. So it makes some sense. The revenue shortfall is, I think, where you'd probably point at things first. But you know what? They do have some great numbers, even without all of that, future. Because I was looking at it, John, the gross margins, 65%. That seems pretty daggone strong. I think they're there, but they, unfortunately, this quarter, they were just a little short on a couple areas, and it was enough to hit the stock pretty good, down, 20% today, I think? That's not so great. Yep. That doesn't feel so great.
Yeah, it doesn't. And I'm sure it stings, but they're not done. I still think, I've had their shoes, Pete. I've only had one pair of them, but I love them. And I'll probably buy more because they're a great running shoe or a workout shoe. So, yeah, I would say on a 52-week low, I wouldn't mind getting in here and maybe picking up a few shares, Pete.
Yep. Love to see some unusuals come jumping in there, trying to get in there first. Then we can piggyback on them, John. That would be great.
That would be. All right. Let's do a little video, Pete. Yesterday, we got to do the WNBA and all the craziness that's going on over there. Today, we get to see maybe one of the best defensive lineups I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And Will Anderson, I think we talked about him last week, Pete, when he signed that monster contract.
Yeah.
Well, He's 24 years old, and he ain't slowing down, obviously. That's why they extended his contract so early. But this kid is a beast. Jadeveon Clowney and the rest of this defense, they're there to win.
Mhm.
And I want you guys to listen to this, and let's listen to Pete comment on what he has to say about
Houston Texans defensive line is special, not just because they're ultra talented. They are a psychotic group of individuals. Last Wednesday, I witnessed Will Anderson Jr. giving the group an earful
51.
after practice. You can see CJ Stroud slowly approach them, and they did not
That's a
welcome him
big,
into
thick
the huddle.
dude,
Will
John.
was so displeased with how practice went that he
He's
made
about
them
as
all
thick
run
as our
gassers
buddy
together.
Ray
And you want to
Lewis,
know why
Pete.
Will
Yes,
is so
he
upset?
looks.
Because CJ
He reminds
Stroud
me a lot of
broke
Ray,
the
how he
field goal
plays
rate
and how
one
he's
time
always
against them during the
attacking.
2-minute drill. And when I went to
He's
practice today, the
he's
defensive line
very.
was
I mean,
even
that's
more
scary
dominant.
looking
Will
guy.
sacked CJ. Clowney sacked CJ. Sheldon Rankin sacked CJ. Ariante Erskine
By the way, they got
was
Danielle
biggest
Hunter
when
out
they
there
left
with
was
him,
maybe
so
a
he's
4
on one
target to
side,
Woody
Danielle's
Barnes.
on
But
the
yet
other.
again,
Danielle
that
Hunter,
post-practice huddle
if
was
people
not
don't
a
know who he
satisfying
is,
one, and
and
they
I
went
don't
to the
think you'll see him
backfield
in
to
this
run some
video,
more
but
gassers together.
he
The
is
standard that
a
the Texans
physical
defense sets
specimen.
for themselves is so
I
ridiculously
mean,
high that all
and
it takes is
so
for
is
CJ
Will
and Will
Anderson.
to
So
run them one
they
time, and
they also
everyone is
have the
irritated.
off
And I
the
think it's
field
very
sort
cool
of
that
look
Will
of
Anderson
some of the
Jr. is
most
their leader at
intimidating
only
men
24 years old,
playing
because a lot of
football
the
right
guys
now.
around him are
I
in
look
their
at these
30s.
guys,
They've
John.
been
I look
around
at
for a
their
long time,
defense.
but they listen to him. The
I think
Houston
that they
Texans
have the best defense for sure, at least in the AFC. You know, they're in the AFC South, in the AFC. So I kind of split it up a little bit for us. And I would say the Rams potentially could end up being the best NFC defense. Now, the Bears are great. So I'm not putting them away and not saying anything negative about them, John, because they were great last year. I think they'll be great again this year. But when you've got Myles Garrett on your team, you already have arguably the best defensive player in football right now. And if Aaron Donald decides, because he sure looks like he's decided he wants to come back, John. I mean, I see all these videos of the guy doing all these drills. I don't think a guy does drills unless he's thinking about playing football again. When's the last time you and I did a drill? Probably on the field before we got cut.
Yep.
So I'm just and so I'm looking at that and I'm thinking of the Rams and I'm thinking, okay, they got a great offense last year. Defense was not bad. I'm not saying they were bad at all. They were actually pretty good, which is why I think if you had Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett on the same defensive front, that's pretty unbelievable. And then you throw in what we were just talking about with Houston, John. I think that they did some magical things with Danielle Hunter, who, a lot of people in Minnesota got frustrated with him for a variety of different reasons, even though he's a sack king. I mean, the guy, he had 15 sacks last year kind of quietly. I mean, no one really talked about the guy at all. But they've got size, they've got speed, they run a 4-3 defense. Anytime I see a 3-4 defense, I go, you know what? The defensive coordinator is an idiot, and they're probably not going to be able to stop the run very well. You put up a 4-3 defense, you can stop the run and get after the quarterback because you've got the 4 defensive linemen up there, the big guys up there. So if you go and just test me on that if you want, take a look at what some of the best defenses look like in the NFL over the last 10 years. They're going to be a 4-3 defense. So when you see some of these defensive coordinators trying to get cute, they're doing the wrong thing. So what do you think about this, though? Am I right? I know your Bears are damn good. That defense is damn good, but I had to go with the Rams for this reason, with Donald maybe coming back.
Yeah, he is a beast, and he's been rested and he's healthy.
Yeah.
So, and he's still a relatively young man. I mean, again, Jadeveon Clowney, how old is he, Pete? He's in his mid-30s, isn't he?
Mid to up.
With the Texans who we were just talking about. So there's plenty, and our buddy Von Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Von Miller is also, I think, 34 or 35, Pete, somewhere in that range.
At least.
I mean, great player, still a great player, but then you talk about, a generational guy like Darnold, and oh my gosh, he is a beast for the Rams, and then retires on top, and now maybe he says, you know what, I got one more in me. I got one more in me.
You got Aaron Rodgers doing it. You've got him doing it. You've got some of these other guys. Von Miller's trying to do it, and then somebody will probably sign him. It might even happen during the season, because the guy, as you know better than I, John, because you know him much better, but the guy stays in damn good shape. It's not like it's not like he's going out there and hitting the beers and the candy corn or anything like that. He's a guy who stays in unbelievable shape. And so if somebody comes calling and needs him and they get an injury, I would say that he'll be out there too. So some of these guys, yeah, to your point, they're getting into the 35 to 38 year range and they still got it. And so you got to be impressed with that. Speaking of impressed, how about this one? I'm going to throw this out there, John. Cleveland had an unbelievable draft, and I didn't really look at it all that closely. When I was kind of breaking down stuff earlier in the year, we had the draft, and all of a sudden you get into all these next things. But I was watching a fight yesterday, which is actually what caught my attention. And Spencer Fina, now he's their first pick in the draft this year, ninth pick total overall. He's out of Utah. He's an offensive lineman. And he was beating the crap out of one of the defensive players that was coming right at him. His last name is Verse. He was part of the trade. He was part of the trade that actually got Myles Garrett to LA, and he came out there, right? He's one of the better defensive ends in football. I would say he's probably even maybe top 5 or something like that, Verse. I think he was out of Florida. The guy's a machine. I'll tell you what, this Spencer Fano decided, you know what, I'm going to take you out on every play, and we're going to get after it, and I'm going to talk shit on you, which is exactly what they did. And he went to it, John, and outside of that, I mean, that's not the only reason, but he's a great offensive lineman, great move. 8 of their 10 picks this past year were on the offensive side of the ball. They knew what they needed to get. I think the only thing that disappoints me are the quarterbacks that are there, Shador being one of them, are they the right fit? I think that's what's hurting them is I don't know that they are, but they gave them weapons. They gave them receivers. They gave them running backs. They gave them offensive linemen. They gave the offense a big boost through the draft and free agency as well. So this could get pretty interesting. The one quarterback that I hope gets a chance this year, John, they drafted that kid from Arkansas that you and I watched and just in awe, Taylon Green. Taylon Green, for the people who don't know who he is, he's about 6'5", about 230 pounds. He can run like a damn deer. He's as athletic as any guy in any position on the football field. And he's going to be the backup quarterback, second, third string, whatever. But if he gets a chance to play, I'd love to see that happen. So who knows? But I'll tell you what, I think the Browns are a lot different team because of what they've done this year than they were last year.
Oh, yeah. And Pete, that Spencer Fano that you talked about from Utah, 9th pick overall, beast, complete beast. And when was the last time, folks, that you heard, other than maybe Orlando Pace, Pete, when was the last time you heard of a rookie starting at left tackle? And training camp just got started, and they said, that man's a starter. So, I mean, that, for those of you who don't know, that is why they pay those guys so much for left tackles, is because that's the blind side for the quarterback. And, again, the Lawrence Taylor hit on Theismann, that is why, the blind side, as they call it. That's why this guy, Spencer Fano, Pete, is amazing that he steps right in and he's like, all right, who else is around?
And the great thing about the kid, John, is he goes out there like he's been there before, like he's been there 5, 6, 7 years. He's not intimidated by one of the best defensive ends in all of football. As a matter of fact, he's so not intimidated, he's grabbing him and throwing him on the ground and talking crap to him. I mean, that's a special guy. People don't realize how good the Utah has been over the years as far as bringing kids in there that can play ball. And and a great coach at the time who's no longer there. But nonetheless, I'll tell you what, Utah is a special place for offensive linemen.
Well, let me throw out 2 others, Pete. This guy, Denzel Boston, wide receiver, number 39 overalls, which we can all do the math. That means he was near the top of the second round. Great wide receiver. He's already been named starter, Pete. And he's 6'4". I mean, some of these wide receivers are just beasts.
Yeah.
And same thing with Concepcion, this another guy that they drafted. I mean, they've got 2 rookies that are going to start there, Pete, that are absolute beasts on the wide receiver side. So you're right. If they get a quarterback that can pump the ball to those 2 guys, they could go far. And people are not ready for the Browns to be that good.
Yeah, I think they're going to be shocked. I think they are. I mean, it's amazing just to think of that, because if they did it that well, which I think they did, I think that draft was as good a draft for a team. And as far as what did they need, did they get at the right price and all that kind of thing? Who's the first rounder? Well, we just talked about him. I mean, I think that they did a magnificent job. I think the Cleveland Browns are going to be very, very interesting. I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying this is a lot different team than they were last year, and they are going to be a lot better. We'll see if they can get far enough along later on.
Yeah, that's one that people probably on their schedule, Pete, were kind of chuckling until the free agency and until the draft.
Yeah.
And then and now after they've seen things like Spencer Fano and these 2 wide receivers, they're like, holy crap, that's a tough team to defend against.
Yeah.
When you can keep people off the quarterback and you've got 2 big threats at wide receiver.
Yep.
All right. Well, we appreciate you joining us, folks. We've got 2 more Rebels Edge of the week. So make sure, if you want that Rebel Investors Club, if you scan that QR code that we ran earlier in the session for the Vegas event, again, that sportsbook, Circa Sportsbook, is where we're going to be having some good times. But we've got a fabulous ballroom where we're going to be up on stage with a bunch of unbelievable entrepreneurs. And RebelCon 2026, there's special discount pricing until September 10th. Make sure you check it out. Scan that QR code. Grab your membership to the Rebel Investor Club. 3 months free. 3 months free. So you don't pay a cent for it for 3 months. All you got to do is scan that QR code and then come and be part of us at RebelCon 2026, October 20th and 21st, unless you want to be in the pool for Monday Night Football on the 19th. Bang. All right. Have a great one, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow at 1.